friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with 3 of these wooden crates from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with some of this apple barrel paint in the color Jack-o'-lantern, like this. And I'm doing a full coverage, and now I'm going to do a dry brush with some of this Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss, which is one of my favorite colors, that one and the celery. Love those greens. Okay, so here I'm taking my chunky chippy brush and I'm going to blot on my paper towel, and I'm trying to do a medium dry brush, so some areas are going to be a little bit thicker and some areas are going to be a little bit lighter. Now some areas I do go and I went a little bit too much, but you'll see in a minute how I remedy that. But I'll just go ahead and do the whole surface of these crates, and I'll do the same thing to all 3 until they look like this. And now to remedy the areas where I went a little heavy-handed, I'm going to go back in with my original color, my orange Jack-o'-lantern paint, and I'm going to just kind of fix it a little bit, kind of blend it up a little bit, that way it won't be too harsh like some of these areas here. And now it's looking more to my liking, so here they are. I love them. I think they're so cute. And now I'm going to go in with these wood stems, and these were from Dollar Tree last year. I haven't seen them this year yet, but hopefully they'll be coming out with them again. Now they're a little bit too thick for where I want to put them in, but I went ahead and used my little tool and scraped them a little bit, and now they fit perfectly like this. And so here I'm just going to reinforce them with a little bit of hot glue just on the top. And don't worry, we'll be covering that up with some leaves too. Now this one here was a little bit too small, but I just added more glue to the stem and it fit just right. So here I'm going to go in with the leaves like I mentioned, and I really like the burlap leaves that are included in this pack. This one had some really pretty green burlap ones and some orange burlap ones. And then I used a couple of regular yellow ones just because I didn't have any yellow burlap ones, but that's okay. So here I'm just going to add them to the tops of my little pumpkins, my pumpkin crates. So just like this, and I'm going to just glue them all up until they look like this. And I also added some to the bottom of the crates just to hide the hole that's there. So here I'm going in with some of the berry garland, and I'm just snipping off just what I need, and I'm going to wrap it around a wooden dowel to create the trindles of the pumpkin. And I'll just add those. I'll add 1 to each of these, and I think I add a second one to the middle one, but anyway, you can just do how you like. And also you can do these pumpkins, you can do them in neutral colors, you can do them in different colors, just whatever you want. This is just the traditional look. And look at that, they're so cute. Now let me show you how we dressed them up. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to show you this. Okay, so I'm going to go in with these other wood stems that I had. And again, these were from last year, and hopefully they'll bring them back. I haven't seen them yet this year. That's why you always buy extras. Always buy extras. Okay, so I picked up these little skeletons from Dollar General. They're the mini skeletons, and they all have like different yoga poses. I thought they were so cute. I wanted to use the ones that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, but they were too big. But these fit perfectly because they're smaller. But look at that! You can dress these up for Halloween, or you can dress them up for, well, here's another Halloween theme out of these little solar lights for the kiddos. Let the kiddos dress them up. Or you can add some of these burlap little decor pieces. And these are for fall. You can have the kiddos put those in there. Look how cute. But my favorite, I gotta show you my favorite. My favorite are the owls. Oh, look at that. So cute. And if you don't have any of the wood stems, you can always go in with some of these mini hay bales. And look how cute. So these are just quick pictures, but we'll be doing a closer look in the final reveal at the end. But look how versatile they are. Yes, the kiddos can have a blast with these. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today's video is a part of the Unusual Pumpkins DIY, and it's an open playlist, and it is hosted by Tammy over at Happiness Created and myself. And so we're each to create at least 3 unusual pumpkin DIYs, and I can tell you right now that the playlist is full of some wonderful talent. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to watch and see what everybody else has decided to create for the Unusual Pumpkins DIYs. And speaking of challenges, we have another one coming up. Tammy and I decided to get together again, and this time we're doing an open challenge playlist with the gingerbread house theme. So all you have to do is create at least 1 gingerbread house DIY and have fun with it. Just go at it. Just make it unique, make it you, make it beautiful. And this will be on October 8th. For DIY number 2, I picked up this big pack of oval embroidery hooks. I can hardly say that word. Oh my goodness. And I really like the shape, so I decided I'm going to create some pumpkins with these. So I'm going to begin with the apple barrel paint in the color Jack-o'-lantern and paint them up like this. And again, I'll go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and I'll dry brush these really quick like this. And now I'm going to use the same fabrics that I used on my last video, these really pretty fall fabrics, these from Dollar Tree and one from Walmart, and I think they're just so beautiful. And here all I'm going to do is just measure and see how much of the fabric that I need, and then I'll snip enough fabric and then just place them in the embroidery hoops. And if you've never worked with an embroidery hoop, all you have to do is place your smaller hoop, your inside hoop, on your table. You place your fabric on top, and you place the other larger hoop on over your fabric, and then tighten it up at where the screw is, and then pull all the fabric till it's nice and taut like this. So now once I have this completed, then all I'm going to do is take my scissors and just trim around the whole edge, trim off all the excess fabric that we don't need. And I'm going to do this to all 6 of my hoops until they look like this. Look how cute! Okay, so now I'm going to begin to assemble my pumpkins. So I'm placing the hoops together where the screws are at, the screws that you tighten the hoops with. And so I'm going to go in with these little small cable ties or zip ties, and I'm going to just tie them together where the screws are, and then I'll do another one above where the screw heads are at, like this. And I'm doing this because I don't want to use hot glue and ruin these screws, so I figure this works best. So now I'll just snip off all the excess ties, and I'll place the one in the center to create the pumpkin shape. And I'm going to go in with a marker and just make little dots where the points that are going to be that I'll be gluing these together, because again, I don't want to add a bunch of glue and ruin these embroidery hoops, because I can always use these for other holidays as well. Okay, so here I just added a few dabs of glue here and there, and look, it's just enough because these things are very light, so it works perfectly. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with one of these wood stems from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just taking the biggest one that's in there, the one that resembles a stem, a pumpkin stem, and I'm just going to adhere that to the top of this embroidery hoop in the center. And now it's time to do some embellishing, and I'm just going to use one of these garlands, these really pretty garlands. I really like this one with the different colors. I think these darker colors are really cute, so I'm just going to adhere these onto the top of this embroidery hoop at the base of this stem, this wood piece, like this. And I'll go in with some more of the berry garland, and I'll add a couple dabs of glue on the back to adhere a piece of jute cord on the back like this. And look, it holds it perfectly. Look how cute. And here's a quick picture, and we'll get a closer look at the final reveal. And now I'd like to do a quick shout out to a very sweet subscriber, Valerie Allison. Look what she did. She made my witches. Oh my goodness, and it turned out so cute. I love it. Look at that. Oh my goodness, beautiful. And she also made a haunted house. She made 2 haunted houses. Look at these. These are so good. And if you're interested in having a shout out in one of my videos, all you have to do is email me some pictures or send them to me through direct message on Instagram. And I'll be glad to feature them and add them to my video. Okay, let's head over to DIY number 3. For this DIY, I'm using the shower curtain that I was supposed to use in my She Did What with Dollar Tree items video. It's the one I had chosen to do on that video, but I chose a different shower curtain instead. And I was actually going to use this DIY for that video, but then I decided to save it for this video because this pumpkin is going to be very unusual. Okay, so now here I am taking this foam pumpkin, and it's the black one. And this little pumpkin is going to be covered up in shower curtain. Yes, it is. So here I'm removing the stem and I'm making the hole a bit bigger because I'll be adding my own wood stem to the middle of it. And so here is my shower curtain that I fussy cut. Not perfectly, but somewhat. But it's good enough for me. So here I'm going to go in with some of the Elaine's tacky glue to adhere all these pieces on this pumpkin. And in hindsight, I wish I would have painted the pumpkin white. I was at the time going for a black and blue kind of color scheme for that particular video. So that's why I left the pumpkin black. But now when I finished this DIY, I realized that maybe it would have been better to paint the pumpkin white. And you'll see what I mean at the end. But it still came out really cute and very unusual. Very unusual. And mind you, this is a Dollar Tree shower curtain, so you know how thin these things are. It's a really odd and unusual type of plastic. But here I'm just taking my time and I'm adhering all these pieces of shower curtain around this pumpkin. And I'm going to allow this to dry overnight until it looks like this. And now for the fun part. Now I'm going to take some parchment paper, and this one happens to be Reynolds brand, and I'm just going to place it on top of the foam pumpkin, and with this mini iron I'm just going to lightly tap it and keep tapping it, and I'll do it all around the pumpkin until all the plastic is melted into the foam pumpkin, like literally fused on there. Yes, it is. And so let me tell you, there's a few little things that I learned from this technique. I've never done this before, but look at that. Okay, for the most part it's done, and what I've learned, this is the first time I've done this, so what I've learned is do not let the heat touch the actual foam pumpkin because it'll burn it like this. And also don't leave it on too long because it'll burn through the plastic. Other than that, so here's a couple bubbles. So I'll put the parchment paper on top, and I'm showing you in real time, real quick. Here's my little iron, and all I'm going to do is barely press it like this, and that's just enough. That's it. That's it. Let the parchment paper cool down, and then just peel it up and press it down, and there it is. Let me see if I can find another spot that needs attention. I think, okay, right here, this little spot here. It's close to the foam, but I'm just going to touch the white. So just right here, I'm just going to touch this. That's it. There it is. See? So just tiny little bits, and not too long. Just press, let it go, let it get cool, and there it is. Okay, so now we'll continue. And now here's my pumpkin all done. And now I'm going to go in with some of this Waverly Chalk paint and the color ink. And I'm going to use this to fix all the areas that the iron touched the foam pumpkin and it turned it white. But like I mentioned before, this particular DIY was for another video. It was the Halloween video, so that's why I used the black pumpkin. But if I ever do this again, I will use a pumpkin that is painted white, and then that way I might not have to go through all this here, but I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to make this pretty, and I'm just using my chunky chippy brush to go around all the edges of the areas where it got fused, just to blend it all up. And I'll just keep working on this until it looks like this. And now I'm going to take the little wood stem that I'm going to use for this project, and I'm just going to give it a light dry brushing, and I'm going to use the same black paint, and I'm just going over the whole piece. And now I'm just going to embellish with some of these really pretty bluish maple leaves. These are so pretty, and I think they go really well with this pumpkin. And I just placed it on this pedestal that I already had on hand, painted black, and that is it. What do you guys think? And now for the final reveal. Well, I'd like to take a moment and thank Tammy over at Happiness Created for joining me to host this unusual pumpkin DIY open playlist. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to see what everybody else has created. So when you're done watching this video, please don't forget, head on over to my description box, click the link, and enjoy the playlist. I'm so excited to see as well. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.